Zoe. We're talking about the Earth-Sun relationship. Okay, first things first, let's talk about Earth. So if you look at this model that I've created, okay, Earth is kind of broken up into halves, right? See, it's broken into halves. So this center line, I'm going to assume you know that it's called the equator. Okay, it separates the northern hemisphere from the southern hemisphere. Okay, got that so far. So northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere. Since we're talking about the relationship between the sun, we're going to assume that this is the sun. This is obviously planet Earth. I just want to make note that the blue tack that you see right here, this represents where we live here in central New York, okay, in the North American continent, okay, so let's progress on here. The relationship between the Earth and the sun. So a couple things you need to know about planet Earth is planet Earth rotates, okay? It's important to know what rotation looks like. So this is what rotation is. It's simply spinning, okay? So Earth sits on an axis. So this wooden stick is this axis. Now imagine this stick, if it was driven all the way up through the core in the middle, and then it popped out of the top, okay? So we call this the axis of Earth, okay? Earth is spinning on its axis, or rotating. Rotating is the same thing as spinning. Spinning is the same thing as rotating. We call it rotation, okay? The other thing to know about planet Earth is that it revolves or orbits around the sun. So revolve and orbit, all that means is that it moves around the sun. So right now, I am revolving or orbiting around the sun, okay? Planet Earth is doing those two things, rotating and revolving at the same time. So if I was planet Earth, me, it would look something like this. I'm not going to do this long because I don't feel like getting dizzy. So I'm rotating, right? I'm spinning. But at the same time, I'm also revolving or orbiting around the sun. And this is what planet Earth does. So let's take a look here, okay? A little something like this, okay? So it's spinning, right? And it's orbiting around the sun. The third thing I want to talk about is that the Earth has a tilt, right? So if this is Earth with no tilt, this is Earth with tilt. No tilt, with tilt, okay? The tilt is that of 23.5 degrees. So if this is 0 degrees, this would be 23.5. So the motion is this. We've got this tilt, and the Earth is simply rotating and orbiting as it travels around the sun. Okay? So this is the basic movement here. Now, really quickly, we'll talk about what gives us our seasons. Okay? So you'll notice, because we have this tilt, okay, tilt right here, the northern hemisphere is directly facing the sun at this position. So this would represent summertime for us here in central New York and everybody else here in the northern hemisphere. So if it's summertime here, because I'm tilted this way, that means that the southern hemisphere is experiencing winter. Why? Because the southern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun. The northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. Okay? So as it travels around, and we end up over here. Well, what season would it be in the northern hemisphere? Since the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun, we say we're experiencing winter, which is actually right now in real time. This is what our relationship between the Earth and sun looks like. The southern hemisphere is experiencing summer. Why? The southern hemisphere is tilted directly towards the sun. Okay, so for us, this would be summertime, the position here. This would be wintertime. I think we need to think, okay, so what comes after summer at this position? Well, what comes after summer? Fall. So this position would be fall. Again, this would be winter. And then last but not least, This would be spring over here. And then after that, we are right back to summer. So this is what it looks like. Notice the axis is always pointed in the same direction down. Okay, so here we are in fall. Here we are in winter, spring, and summer. If you have any questions about this video, please email me and let me know. Thank you.